Actually, you know what? I'll bring that up on stream. Let's look at the Amazon listing for this. The Cult of the Dragon leads the charge in an unholy crusade to bring Tiamat back to the realms, and the situation grows more perilous for good people with each passing moment. The battle becomes increasingly political as opportunities to gather allies and gain advantage present themselves. From Waterdeep to the seas of the moving ice to Thay, it is a race against evil. Succeed or succumb to the oppression of the draconic tyranny, win or lose, things will never be the same again. Second of two adventures, story arc Rise of Tiamat provides everything a dungeon master needs to create an exciting and memorable adventure
Okay.
experience.
So it's straight up lies. Got it. Completely lies. Understood.
Oh, marketing. Marketing didn't read the book.
Guess it can't straight up just say, hey, this isn't actually everything you need.
The book is honest and says nope.
Well, at least the book says something. I am interesting. I'm very interested and slightly getting more excited about running an adventure in 1D&D to see just how bad or good it actually is. I don't want to see this. Get out of here.
It's page
Spoilers.
1.
Spoilers. Probably under running the adventure usually is where they say that.
Yeah, Wow, this is just impossible to navigate.
It is. Don't worry about it. I trust you. I just don't want to see this book. Get out of here. Get out of here. There's things in here. There's spoilers. I don't want to see spoilers. I'm playing this campaign.
I mean, just don't go back.
Spoilers.
Just don't read it.
Spoilers.
But yeah, it does say in there, like, this is a framework and like you're going to want to provide some supplemental content of your own, or, you know, buy some supplemental content or do whatever you're going to do to get you from point A to point B. So like that thing where you guys were on the ship, they don't actually present any ways for you to get there, which would mean that you would just have to walk it, which was like something like a month's travel.
Yeah, it was
versus
a long
like
travel.
So I decided to force you guys to plan and then roll, and then I had like, for however many I had, you guys had them all because you guys like crit or something like that.
Yeah.
But like I made all those up because I was like, okay, whatever they roll, I'll give them this many different options than just walking. So you were always going to get at least 3 options.
That makes sense. I mean, it worked out. We had the money. We used the best option.
And like,
now we're on a ship. About to get wrecked.
I'm hoping that the party learned that there is politics in this to some degree.
There has to be.
Because like the whole world has to come together, right?
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, Tiamat might be summoned.
I mean, I have a feeling that she's going to be summoned either way, just possibly in a weakened state. I don't think we're going to be good enough to not summon her. We're too much of a ragtag band of fools. But I think we can succeed in not summoning her full strength and actually maybe take out one head before we TPK.
Yeah. Is that our official stance on this? If we roll it all the way back, that they should just leave the hag alone?
Oh yeah, I think we both agreed there.
Yeah.
We've went on a tangent, but that's part of the thing.
Yeah.
What else we got? Hey,
Dazed is everything stunned wishes it could be.
is
We kind of
Dazed
have to,
is
right?
yeah, Dazed is 1D&D, right?
I don't know. Like most people, both DMs and players alike, I've never been a fan of effects like stunned, charmed, or petrified, which rips away the player's turn. Fair. Also, NPC turns. My first
Mhm.
3 years DMing were for a party of 2. What? Oh, that'd be rough.
That is rough.
And so I avoided save or suck effects like these inherently because it halved action economy of 2 players.
I can
Yep,
see that.
you
You kind
that's
of
a
got
fair
yeah.
compromise. Um yeah. In recent years, I've been lucky enough to have parties of 3 and recently 4. Okay. MCDMs.
That stands
What?
for a company. MCDM is what's the actual? It's a publisher that does.
Okay. Like official third party?
Yeah, it's official third party. They just had their new class, no, new subclass put on D&D Beyond. MCDM. It's MCDM books for D&D 5e. They make
What's it
books.
stand for though?
I don't know. It's not telling me right now. I'm on their website and it doesn't tell me what it stands for. Flea Immortals.
Oh, it's Matt Koval.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Cool. Yeah, they have like
Eh,
looks like they have one shots, they
Yeah.
have classes, they have some adventures.
Yep. No, I know exactly. Yep. I didn't know that was MCDM. Okay.
So what's
So
today's condition? Tell me in this Reddit post. What we
so
got?
so hold on. Matt Koval is very good.
I mean, I trust. I've heard that name many
So
times, and I've definitely seen
really
some of
hope
his videos. I
this
think he's
drop
yeah,
in place replacement for Stunned. I really hope it is.
that'd be cool. You mean you know
So
how we started Icewind Dale? I'm always open to changing things as long as we agree to it
yeah.
before the campaign starts.
So in his book, Flea Mortals prominently features the condition dazed in preference of stunned. For those who have never come across the dazed condition before, it means the target is only allowed to make either an action or a bonus action or a movement on their turn. Only one out of those 3. Midway through my current campaign, I ran my first combat with a creature that I used dazed, and my players were immediately aware of how debilitating this status was.
There are spells that do that without calling it daze, like Tasha's Mind Whip, but I
Yeah.
always think that I do like it better than stun because you have a choice, but it's limited. Like you still can do something.
Yeah.
The
Maybe just a bonus action or a movement, though. I don't know if you
Sure.
should get an action.
Sure, I could see that too, but the answer to stunned is the ability to do limited things. You could
Yeah.
still make stunned. I mean, I've even heard people just say moving with stunned would be fine. I feel like that's still a little bit too
Well,
little, but
I think,
um,
honestly, I think movement. If you're stunned, you. Like, by wording, you shouldn't be able to move.
which is why dazed makes more sense. You change the wording to dazed, then dazed you're not.
Yeah.
Like,
But if
I
you
could,
wanted to. Yeah.
yeah, and I
Yeah.
like that.
It
I've
works for
seen
dazed. For
even in
dazed, this works.
even in the that campaign I was talking about, that's alpha. There's a couple effects that do
Yeah.
exactly this because they do prefer that over stunned. It looks like just because
Yep.
you still can do something.
Yep.
You're just very limited. Like it is still a major thing. The fact that because there's a lot of classes. Well, you always want to be able to move and do something unless you're right up in the enemy's face. Then you just want to be able to do something. And most classes, especially at higher levels, want to do an action and a bonus action. If you can only do one of those 3 things, it's definitely
It's still very debilitating.
But you still do something. You're not going to go take a
Yeah.
nap while you wait
in a
for 2
corner.
rounds of
Yeah,
combat or 3 rounds of combat to go by.
totally.
Okay, let's continue. We were on.
Yeah.
You gonna continue reading?
So
Use enemies to pack this multiple effects in time. It immediately signals to my players, "Oh, this
yeah,
guy's a real threat, and we have to deal
so
with
here we
them."
go. I used the enemy's effects the last few sessions. It immediately signaled to my players, "Oh, this guy's a real threat. We have to deal with him immediately, or we'll be locked out of our turns." One enemy had an AOE effect where the players could choose 12d8 damage or be dazed for 1 minute, saves at the end of turn. And they were considering the damage because of how annoying being dazed was.
I don't know.
Out of
12 d8s.
character. What?
12 d8's a lot of damage.
Yeah, that's no contest. You pick dazed every
At
time.
least you have a chance of breaking it.
I mean, once you fail once,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter after that.
Yeah.
It's just how long am I still dazed for? So after that, you don't even have to worry about being hit again.
Yeah.
If you can pick.
Yeah.
Yeah. At a character in session, my players expressed how tough but fair dazed feels. They are aware it is strong and lethal, but they enjoy how it doesn't skip their turn, and they still use tactics to manage it and work together. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
In one combat, a PC used their turn to drag another dazed PC into position because they wouldn't be able to both move and attack on their turn. Just my experience and recommendation to try out dazed as a high power status effect to replace stunned or even charmed if you found those effects too oppressive but still want the challenge. And fair enough. Like, why are you charming someone in combat?
Well, I mean, because of dominate monster. Technically,
Just to waste their turn, though.
at that point, it's a waste their turn. It can be fun to tell someone to unleash hell on their friends and see what they actually do. Like, you're still doing something.
Yeah.
But if you're just doing a charm so that they don't do anything, yeah, I can see that being like that's still a pain.
Dazed has become a go-to for me. I highly recommend trying this if you haven't already. Works particularly well as a rider effect from supporting enemies. It really forces players to think carefully about who they're going to attack. Other status effects I've enjoyed using: weak -2 to attack rolls, frail -2 to AC, exposed. Whenever you take attack damage, you take an additional X damage.
Yeah,
Bleeding.
This is kind of for it to expire.
Yeah, I'm not
If you look at
like
the other comment underneath it.
I don't like. You can just.
It seems to be a bit much. And
Yeah.
so that actually goes into the D&D being a slower paced
Yeah.
combat. If it was, then that could be cool because you would be able to maybe read up on certain enemies that impose these conditions so that when you go into combat, you decide which one you want to attack and which one's more deadly and which
What's
one
a
is
priority
less deadly.
target?
Yeah. It gives you more of the strategy side to it rather than just vomit abilities.
So
And
this guy agrees. I don't agree with the bottom part, but
the top part,
he
yeah.
agrees. Yeah. This is why slow is my favorite control spell. -2 AC, half movement, either an action, only one attack, bonus action, or reaction. It neutralizes the player and is a way to really deal. Yeah, fair enough. As DMs, we could do that, and it makes them want to use hold person or banishment, or they still can rather. Oops. Yeah. As an aside, I've been home. Nah, I don't want to hear about your homebrew. Really. We tried that. Forey had days.
I never played
Okay.
4E, so.
Me neither. I did once, but it wasn't fun, and I never tried again.
Said you told me that you tried it once, you just didn't.
I almost didn't try 5e over it.
Damn.
because that was my first introduction to D&D was 4E, and I did not enjoy it.
It never sounds fun. No one who's told me about 4E makes it sound fun.
Sounds like they got that right though.
Yeah.
But
That's pretty cool. It also feels more meaningful with the 2024 PHB now that characters generally have more uses for their bonus actions. I can imagine a 2014 rogue not really caring about only getting an action if they're in good position to attack and deal sneak attack damage, but now Dazed will remove their ability to use steady aim. That's true, and also, take a guess at what I am most excited about for using the 2024 handbook for my next campaign.
What?
Take a guess.
I have no idea. I
Take a
haven't
guess.
really
Just
looked
take a
at it
guess.
much.
Take a guess.
I don't know what
Take a
most of the
guess.
differences are.
Take a guess.
The character creation?
No. The weapons. The fact that each weapon, you don't just pick the one with the most damage die anymore because they all have added effects. Each weapon has its own thing to go with it.
See, I didn't even know that.
It is. They did an amazing job revamping the weapons because the barbarian isn't just going to take a great axe because it does the most damage anymore. You take different weapons because they let you do different things. A rapier isn't always the best thing for a rogue. It's so cool.
Okay. Maybe I've been wrong.
They do some. They definitely. I think the power balance is definitely way too much in the players. Way too much to the player in 2024. From everything I've seen, just from Spare the Dying alone.
Honestly, more than 2014 already is?
Yes, I do think that. But it's really cool that you have martial things now. That you have weapons that actually do things.
Yeah. That makes it more interesting.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to look at that at some point.
You should. Okay. Next, let's go.
Yeah. Do we want to read somebody's lessons learned, or do we want to look for, or do we want to jump straight to another advice?
I want to see the lessons learned because I just recently ran a 1 to 20.
Here, you read this one.
My party and I recently finished a virtual 5e campaign, most of them. And I wanted to share our experience, what I learned about DMing over the year. These are just my own takeaways, so what might work best for your group could be different. The party consisted of Half-Elf Wild Magic Sorcerer, 17 Bard 3. Well, that's a lot of mono class. Dragonborn Storm Barbarian, 20. Owlin Wildfire Druid, 20. Dragonborn Scribes Wizard, 20. Scribes is a great wizard. Our game, we ran a sandbox game that featured a hub city and wilderness beyond. This involved a lot of prep up front to create city and regional maps, factions, and adventures, and hooks in each area of the city. A lot of action and intrigue ended up taking place in the city itself, so that prep went to good use. The party worked for a guild, which served as a framework for their adventure. Once we got rolling, the game progressed naturally between sandbox time at the city and more linear adventures outside. On the technical side, we ran the game over Discord, and I used Photoshop for our VTT. What? This worked pretty well from a presentation standpoint. The biggest downside is I had to perform player movement for them.
No. He screen shared Photoshop in Discord, and the players would tell them where on the map he wanted.
I'm so sorry. It must have been theater of the mind for combat, though, I'd hope.
Well, no, I think he was doing it live. Like, he would put the tokens on a higher layer and move them around as if it was a physical piece.
Okay.
I'm guessing.
Sure. I've never heard of Photoshop used for VTT, but if it worked, it worked. Oh, they have fun. Our adventures. Tier 1. The party investigated swamped ruins and learned a black dragon that had lived there was now layering beneath the city. They also clashed with a rival adventuring guild, a Scarlet, and the followers of a trickster Archfey. Tier 2, the party joined forces with the Dragon Hunting Guild funded by underground institution, the Obsidian Bank, after a hex crawl through the mountains on the bank's behalf. Their contact invited them to claim their reward and revealed herself as the Black Dragon. After close calls with death and calling Lord Scarlet for aid, they imprisoned the dragon and ended her threat. Tier 3.
Whoa.
Okay, this is
Okay.
a bit too much.
You know what? I think let's go to the
Lessons on plot and preparation. I started the campaign with a few overarching mysteries and conflicts, but had no idea what the main quest would be. It ended up forming naturally between the players' backstories and the plot hooks that latched onto. Following the above, we tied personal quests and adventures as much as possible so that the main quest would advance
Woof.
personal quests via vice versa. For example,
Okay, let's. I don't.
No, we can skip it. There's a lot. There's just a lot to unpack here.
Oh my god. Yeah,
There's just a lot to unpack
there's not enough information, but too much
at
information.
the same time.
There's not enough of the right information,
Fact.
and it's. Congratulations to this guy.
Seriously.
It's hard,
Yeah. Especially level 20.
and it sounds like he gave his players tons of agency. I'm guessing if he's this happy, it went well,
It had to
and
have gone
everyone
well.
seems to have enjoyed it,
Yeah.
and that's amazing.
Yeah. That's the whole
But
point.
but for us doing an agree or disagree thing, this just isn't a good story for
No,
this.
this is not. We can go to the next.
It could have been. It could have been. It depended on what it was.
Exactly.
It's just because this is so different than most people's experience. In a way.
Yeah. Anyway, on to the next. Time loops. You've dealt with this before. I haven't dealt with loops. You also didn't deal with a loop so much, you just sent people back in time.
I'm gonna run a campaign set in a 7-day time loop. Should I tell the players before they make their characters or keep it a secret until the loop begins the first time? I think this is a good question.
I think you keep it a secret.
I agree with you.
Maybe it's just because the groups we've run seem to have been okay with this type of thing. I would definitely keep it a secret.
No, but like here's the thing. Is that really gonna bug anybody?
I don't think so, unless they were expecting something else for some reason. I have no clue.
But like just because like I feel like I did that kind of like we went back
Didn't bug anyone
once, but like even if you went back 10 times, would it have really mattered how many times you went back as
No.
long as the story progressed relatively similar?
Like looking at this a little bit, it looks like they're doing a murder mystery where they have to decide which parts are more important to like which things are more important to do. And it looks like they do keep their
this
level
is hard
between-
for us to tell.
That's actually a very good point. It's hard to tell for us because they know their players, their plot, and everything better. This is just like a group and I've played with very consistently since 2018. They'll probably be fine with it. If they've played, they'll be fine.
Yeah, this doesn't sound like they need advice. I think
No.
the advice they need is to communicate with their players better.
Yeah.
It is okay to be cringe.
That's
this is what?
You're saying it's okay to be cringe. We're saying specifically voices and trying to learn how to do voices, and it's like, yeah, they're gonna not be great the first time. That's fine. I do think that's fine. If you want to do voices, they're not gonna be great.
Oh yeah, but
That's
like
okay.
that's fine. I don't think that's cringe though.
I think that's what they're going with, because they're saying they're going off the classic. Everyone thinks that Critical Role is everyone's D&D, so if you're not a Matt Mercer voice, you're cringe.
Yeah.
I don't think that's also a little bit incorrect. They're just saying that it's okay to just have fun with it.
I mean, it is. It's not cringe. It's like I mean, if you don't like that, then don't play at that table. And if you want to do it, do it. And if you're not comfortable doing it, if other people aren't into it, then just don't do it. Like, just feel the room and just do what you want. It doesn't matter.
I want this one right here. I think I broke a player with consequences of his actions.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Okay. I gotta prepare myself. This one sounds like it's gonna be good. It's got an edit already.
Yeah, because people said the word broke means abused. What?
Hold on. Just wait. We gotta skip the edit.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. You may post it up here.
Just wait. Just wait. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Are we gonna buckle up for this?
I kind of want to because it seems like it's a major thing.
Okay. We are going to checkpoint here. So.
Okay. We would start with yesterday.
Yeah. So.
Okay.
Yesterday, I made a. Okay, you got it.
Oh, yeah,
okay, you get the first set. I'll get the next set. I'll get the next 3.
I made a post about a player that struggled with a morally ambiguous decision and how I could have handled it better. One of the things I neglected to mention was that I actually broke this person to make them this way, and it was a spectacular run.
Whoa, whoa.
That's interesting wording.
Okay.
Lex, we'll call him, is the group looter. He's the one that carries everything, looks at everything, and loots everything after fights. He wants to collect all the stuff and then sell it for gold. You know the type of person I'm talking about. Everyone's got to have it because every group's got to make gold. Last year, we had a session where the group was protecting Candlekeep from invaders digging a tunnel and trying to blow up one of the walls. The party was able to take the explosives and return to sender, blowing up Lion's Way with a massive crater. Candlekeep was under siege, so it was the bad guys, but also a bunch of locals who were forced to provision them. I thought the use of these locals would be an interesting way to indicate that not everyone they fought and killed were always bad. Okay, it's your turn.
You know what? I have a better idea.
The story's already started. I'm just gonna keep going. Yeah. You can't stop me in the middle of the story like this.
Here, you keep reading. I'm just gonna get a screen reader really quick. Oh crap! I'll do. Yeah, I'll fix it. I'll fix it.
Fix it.
Yeah, there you go.
In narrating this, I gave color narration about how some of the people looked like servants and not warriors, and that they seemed to be unarmed locals who got caught up in the battle. Lex was looting the other soldier. I can't see it right now because it's just.
It popped up. It popped up. There you go.
Other soldiers and officers, and didn't make the distinction between the fighters and the locals. I figured I'd challenge him and highlight how he found letters from home, personal/custom items, even lockets with pictures in them and jewelry like wedding rings. He didn't stop. He just kept looting and asking how much things were worth. I even highlighted how some people weren't entirely dead. He kept going. So, I decided I would use that in the future. For the next 6 months, I had the party regularly see people in the distance or bushes or hilltops that appeared to be tracking them, but when challenged, they'd run away. I did this until the party started to wonder what the heck was going on with them as I had them get closer and closer. One day, the party came out of their hideout inside a tavern to find it devoid of patrons, and a large group of mercenaries were challenging the barkeep about where the party was located. The party came out of hiding and started to attack, only to find that these people were getting their asses kicked and were absurdly easy to defeat. One by one, the party members got disturbed by this and wondering why I'd be making the fight so easy, and then they started talking to the survivors. This is when I sprung on Lex. I narrated how these were the family and friends of the people that they killed and looted on Lion's Way. They weren't fighters or heroes, but they were seen stripping bodies of personal items, even people who weren't dead, instead of helping. They just stole their items and pawned them for a pittance. Literally, they didn't want compensation. They wanted their items back. They weren't angry about the violence, but about the immorality of their behaviors. Are you gonna read?
I'll take the rest. Good job.
Thank you.
It turns out that was broken, and it just yelled at me for a little bit. But I heard most, like 90% of what you said. Okay. I missed like the first 2 sentences, and I caught up myself.
That's good. You're at Lex, bro.
Yep, I know. Lex broke. I honestly didn't realize I would have this big of an impact on him. He was beside himself, and suddenly I realized how he had been behaving. And I compounded this by having a real group of real fighters confront them immediately after this. Lex struggling to participate in the battle because he desperately wanted to resurrect the individual that the party had just killed. Oh my god. Yeah, so basically, to sum this up, before everything just rolled over and died like this.
Yeah.
And then once everybody yelled and screamed, "Oh my god, you just killed somebody."
Then they got scared.
Yeah. And that made the character suddenly realize that they were killing people. They finished the battle and they had tons of money to resurrect the individual they had killed. Consequently, you would have to be willing to be resurrected, and one of them chose not to come back. Why? Because he was finally reunited with his loved one in the afterlife.
Oh.
Oh. So I think it's a dick move to do that once.
That is a little bit.
Like, just
That's
play it
laying
the
it on
same way
thick.
every time.
Yeah.
But that
Very
was months
different.
ago.
Yeah, he
And
became,
Lex
yeah.
became a completely different person. Okay, he was far more conscious. He turned his life around. It was 6 months, over 20 plus sessions of hinting.
Get angry
What do you mean
recruit help.
hinting?
It
The
was
time
essentially
necessary
was
for
the full
people to be
setup
found,
for the
healed,
people,
recovered. Yeah.
Angry recruit help seek
Okay.
out the perpetrators and stage an attack in the tavern.
Why?
Yeah. Well, they did that because they think the party killed their loved ones and they're trying to get back, and that's
Yeah,
why
but
the
then-
NPCs did it.
Right, but like, it sounds like the DM's not communicating this well to the players.
What do you mean?
Well, like, it sounds like the players just think that this is another wave of mobs.
What do you mean? The DM, if you had been listening, the DM made sure that the whole thing that kicked this whole thing off, they made sure to let the players know that the monsters that they were attacking Candlekeep, some of them were actually village folks that just got caught up in the battle, and the players were just kind of wantonly killing anything that was attacking with a giant bomb.
Right, but like,
Essentially,
the
the DM was saying
players-
there's collateral damage, and one of the players just kept looting bodies that even weren't dead yet.
right, but like, clearly those players don't care about that.
Well, in this case, it looks like they do care about that. They just didn't think about it. Because if you look and you read the rest of it,
Well, they care because he changed the way he was playing. You know what I mean? Like, there was no consequence before, and that was just the best way to play. But now there's a consequence. He changed.
I don't know if that's true. I don't know if I see it as he changed.
Well, he played it the same way for 20 sessions.
No. That's not what he's saying. If you go up towards the start.
Yeah.
So, he's been playing with the group, and the group had a session where they were protecting Candlekeep. They did something with explosives that had a lot of collateral damage, and the DM pointed out that there was collateral damage. And then one of the players started looting everything like they normally do, and the DM started to try and point out, like, hey, some of these people aren't actually dead. And the player just kept looting. Even the not dead people. And the DM did make that very clear that they weren't dead. It didn't seem like the player
Right, but
cared.
like, I don't think...
in order to do consequences to actions, he simulated people who saw, like, their loved ones who saw this player looting their dead or not quite dead friends or whatever, getting a group of people, healing people, getting a group of people, doing all of that. I don't understand why you're saying he didn't communicate it. Like, it is supposed to be a behind the scenes thing at this point.
I'm not saying he didn't say it.
Because he's not supposed to until it happens. It's supposed to be a behind the scenes thing that happens as like a consequence. To me, that sounds more like picking up a cursed item, and then in 10 sessions something bad happens because of it. You don't communicate it. You let them know that it's like you hint that it's probably something bad,
Right.
or you have other things where.
I feel like the DM's probably not communicating a lot. Okay, so
So you're saying that the DM doesn't like what this player's doing, and he's not communicating that, and
yeah.
so it's kind of like he's springing it on
I
it.
think he's not really like telling the party that he feels like they're murder hoboing.
Okay. I mean, I guess not maybe murder hoboing, but maybe he feels like the party is just not being respectful to the, like they're not doing.
Yeah.
They're not
Like I
murder
feel like
hoboing. It looks like they're just looting. They're wanton looting for no like.
well,
They're
even
not
just like
murdering everything they
killing
see.
loved ones that come after people who that they've killed, like just knock them out and walk away.
Well, they don't have to kill them, is what you're saying, and they didn't
Yeah.
realize that until that moment. I feel like
Like
I
they're
don't
not
know.
playing the same game.
I feel like it looks like they got on the same page though when all of this happened.
At the end of it, but that was prompted by the DM changing his style of play and making this
How do
death
we
matter
how do
more.
we know that that was so much of a change up of a style of play?
Because whatever he did differently here, the players understood. But like he changed something.
See, I don't see what you're saying. I see this more of like,
This is when I sprung it on Lex. I narrated how these were family and friends of the people that they
well, right, but
killed
that
and
was the
looted on
whole
Lion's
setup.
Way.
That was the setup when they
They weren't
had
fighters
done.
or heroes. They were just killing people.
I don't understand. I
Right.
don't understand how you're saying that he's not. He should let them know because like you play a campaign up to a certain point. He got to a point where there
So
was
this happened to
collateral.
me
There was a
once.
point where there's collateral damage that happened,
This
and then
this
he
happened to
tried
me once when the
to.
players fought with me because it's like, well, you didn't tell us he was a villager.
But he. So
Like,
here's the thing. He did say that it was a villager. If you look up top, like he did
so
say
in
that
my
those were
case, they killed
village.
them. They're just like, we see somebody. I was like, they look like they're unarmed, and they're just like, I killed them.
Okay, well that's their fault then. Like that's not.
Yeah, but they were like, you didn't say they were a villager. I'm
So that
like,
doesn't.
well, you didn't know that.
Right. So why is this?
I said they were
How
unarmed.
is this? How is this different? I don't understand what you're saying. They had collateral damage. The DM pointed out that it was collateral damage to people who are unarmed, and the group ignored it, and this was the consequences to the actions.
But like, if the DM felt that the other players should have felt this way all along, then he should have presented
That's
those
not.
other people
That's that's not what. So that's not
in
what
a
they're saying.
different way.
That's not what's happened. This I don't understand. We had a session when next is
But
group
like,
leader. It's a group leader. He doesn't say that. So like the third paragraph down.
awesome, but
Lex.
lessons learned. Okay, maybe I'm misunderstanding why he posted.
Well, because to me, he's saying that they have a person who's a group leader. He doesn't say that that's wrong. He just says that people that do the group looting.
Okay.
And this specific person
I
came
thought
across
he
a
was taking a
situation where
stance on something here.
it didn't sound like it. To me, it just sounds
Okay.
like this is something that
No,
he
it
did.
doesn't. It
Like,
doesn't, but that's how I went into it. So that's where I got confused.
There's
I'm
a-
on the same page now.
Yeah, it's like there's a group leader in the party. He goes
Yeah.
a little bit too far in a situation where the DM makes it clear that these are people that are not like murderous thugs that he's looting who are partially alive and then doesn't care. The group leader doesn't care about it, and now there's consequence. He's saying, I think he's asking, did he go too far with the consequence, I guess? Because he's afraid. If you read, so if we go to the next paragraph, so if we read the whole thing, you get the whole story. That's how these things typically work. If you go to the next paragraph, because of what happened, there was a 2.5-hour debate on what to do in a morally ambiguous situation because the party was afraid to pick the wrong choice. And he's afraid that now his party is going to take a full session to 2 full sessions on every single choice because they're afraid that it's not going to work.
Oh, come on.
That's what he's saying. He's afraid that he went too far. And while you work with the screen reader, I'm going to be right back because you seem to be having some
No,
issues
no,
here.
we're not doing a screen reader. I'm just thinking there's got to be a quicker way to get through this content,
There
and there
probably is.
is.
But I will also be right back.
Oh, wait. We can just do it this way.
So what happened? What did you find?
So I got it paraphrased because most of the backstory in there wasn't useful.
Okay.
Um, so the real key is in the edits that I said we should just skip.
Mm-hmm.
I say I broke my player, which apparently is triggering for some people and thinking that I abused or caused psychological trauma. This is not the case. I was using hyperbole
Mm-hmm.
in that I dramatically changed their behavior. I mean, I guess I understood that. The person is my teenager. Oh, it's a well, it's a teenager.
Is their teenager?
I mean, yeah, teenagers have a lot to learn already. So,
I don't know,
yeah,
man.
that's pretty. Yeah, that would probably change the way a teenager viewed the NPCs of a video game if they had never realized that before. Yeah, that'd be pretty. That'd be a pretty crazy realization.
It is a crazy realization, and yeah, they're gonna take it. They're gonna take time with every decision now.
That's when you realize that games actually have stories.
They do. That's what
That's
makes them good.
that's the TLDR of this is like my player understood that the game has a story.
Right. It's not just like a dungeon crawler where you just walk through and you loot things. It sounds like the issue of the debate is you
Okay.
didn't put time pressure on them. They can't debate for 2.5 hours. There's no time to debate. Within 15 minutes, then increase the stakes or change the stakes. Another person walks in. The two bad guys decide to turn on the group. I think his big thing is, or the ops big thing is, they don't
Oh,
want
because
every
they
debate to take
spoke
2.5
later?
hours.
I don't know. That
That's
doesn't
it.
seem relevant.
No, that's all.
That seems like a different argument.
Why do so
Why
many
do so many
games need
DGMs
a
need a
gimmick?
gimmick?
Games King advertising Reddit as D&D with a twist or classless D&D?
I, this just sounds like I want to vent.
But like, what? We don't have to read this one, but like,
Well, I don't know what. Like, I mean, I guess he means like homebrew.
yeah, well, homebrew or anything, any like homebrew rules. It looks like D&D with a twist, classless D&D, those type of things that just
I guess he means
which
like if do
seem
you play
highly
fast and
impractical
loose with
in
the
a way.
rules?
Well, no, because it's just homebrew things that seem impractical or annoying for players. They wanted to run simplified 5e, which is way more complicated than actual 5e. So I had to figure out what could and couldn't keep from the rules. So I just wonder why. It looks like they just recently joined a game with homebrew rules and then left the game because they were frustrated with it. And now they're talking about it on Reddit.
It doesn't seem like anybody else knows what's going on either.
Essentially, they're just saying, why do all DMs need a gimmick? And the answer is sometimes people get bored or they just like trying out different things.
Yeah, why use homebrew? Okay. Oh, I think I have a kid up. So I think I'm gonna have to
I think you're going to have to
end
go.
here. Yeah,
We'll end here.
I think so.
Forever.
That was
Last
fun.
stream
I
ever.
enjoyed that
It was
discussion.
good. It was good. I enjoy it. I mean,
And Fall Guys was fun too.
potentially, that was fun. Maybe we could even ask someone to curate these in the future. That way we actually get all decent ones.
Yeah, I
That's
can
how
even
these
find
usually
some
work.
in the
No,
future.
you can't.
So
No,
like
because it's got to be the first time you see it. If you're going to be part of
fair.
this, you would ask someone else to curate good ones, and then running a Tarask.
Fair. Just post it in all of our D&D groups. Send us any good D&D related Reddit threads you find.
Yeah, we'll take D&D horror stories. We'll take D&D advice, all that kind of thing.
Yep. Oh.
I mean, you don't. Why would you? I don't understand why. My thoughts is I don't think it's ever necessary. You could if you want to do a funny thing with the bard, you just do the old school movie thing where you fade to black.
Yeah, oh yeah.
You don't have to be like you don't have to.
You
role
just
play
imply.
It. You just imply. You fade to black. That's it.
Yeah.
And then you wake up the next morning. Actually, role
That's
playing.
not D&D if
it's
you're
not.
doing that. That's something else.
That is
But you
something
can-
else. That's something else that happens on online chats.
Yeah.
In the darkest corners of the internet. Not
Yeah.
D&D.
I don't know why that's a question. It's just like either you joined that game for that specifically or that's not what you're doing.
It's because people
That's so far away from the normal that
the
like
way that person, if you go up, worded that their first sentence makes me think that they're afraid to say they don't like it. If you go up a little bit, the first sentence, the whole like I'm super positive, very open about all that stuff, makes me feel like they're afraid to say that they're not into that. So I wonder if they were in a group that almost pressured them into doing that,
maybe.
and then they were afraid of being like called.
Whoa.
Yeah, don't. There's too much. It's too much.
See, not all of them are this long. I
Yeah, that's why you
promise.
have them curated.
Yeah. I agree. Next time we will.
We'll actually make it a thing, not just like an impromptu. We'll make it fully a thing.
Yeah.
Go. Make sure your kid that just got up is okay.
No, I listened around if that's not the case. That was a
Oh, okay.
cat.
Oh, okay. That's different.
I figured it out.
They're
Yeah.
different. Rufus, you have multiple children. You should
No,
know the
they
difference between
are. But
cats.
when you go like this, you can hear the difference between the litter box outside your door and a thump above your head.
That is true.
I'm using in-ear monitors.
No, you're fine.
Yeah,
Anyway.
I heard what it was the second time. I was like, "Oh crap, that's either a kid that's like right at that door and is about to open it, or it's a cat in the litter box."
Okay.
But
Well,
no, kid is okay. But I
that's
think
good.
I am done though because I still
Yeah,
have to go
no.
do Santa stuff.
Yeah, go do your thing. Tomorrow's Christmas.
Yeah,
Merry Christmas.
I gotta go to sleep so Santa will come.
I mean, so do you do that now? And then do you put those presents out now? Or do you wait and wake up super early in
Oh
the
well.
morning?
Oh no, I'm good. It'll be before I go to sleep.
That's smart. Because usually they also probably wake up super early in the morning. 'Cause they're
Yeah,
excited.
exactly. Luckily, though, they can't start before 7 a.m. because their mother works until 7 a.m. So they have to wait. Even if they get up, they have to wait.
They have to. You have to wait till
Yeah,
she gets home.
gotta wait for mom.
It's true. How it works. Well, anyway,
And
you have fun with
then,
the what? What do you say?
then we'll do Christmas.
Yeah, I'm doing Christmas this weekend. So,
We're doing a bunch of them.
have fun. It sounds tiring. One is enough.
That's the purpose of Tibbs Eve. That's why we played that. I mean, I'll be honest, Slay the Spire is fine, but that terrible multi-world
It was
yesterday. I
unfortunate,
mean,
man.
each game individually was probably fine, but as a multi-world, it was
Didn't
pretty
work.
shit.
It was pretty rough. It was pretty rough.
Yeah.
Next time, you learn things. You learn things and you move on.
Yeah, exactly. It was like I said, each game was probably fine on its own. It's just how much.
I don't think Raft is a good randomizer.
No, but it's just you're playing Raft and you're missing items.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Exactly. Anyway, you have fun.
Yeah, you too.
Thanks. Goodbye.
See ya.